Okay, now, there are some industries that are highly polluting, like mining. In mining, the ore generally contains the mineral that you're interested in, but a lot of other things. So in gold mining, there might be traces of arsenic. In the processing of the gold, mercury is used, and some of it escapes from control. So there's the pollution that's intrinsic to the extraction, and the pollution that's intrinsic to the minerals. The tailings, that is, the material that's left over when you've extracted the usable stuff, goes usually into a tailings pool where it's allowed to leach out. And it's from these tailing pools that it can escape into the surrounding environment or down into the water table. So here you have to look at the geology. But basically, mining is dangerous to the environment. So in talking about production, always consider, is this needed? Can it be done in another way? If it's absolutely necessary, can we share the risk? For instance, it would seem as if nobody should work for years around a nuclear power plant, if you have them at all. And this would mean a kind of rotation of jobs. If something is socially necessary, you would figure that the burden should be shared, and that everybody should put in a little time in a dangerous occupation. So that kind of rotation of tasks, sharing the risk.
When you're talking about mining, for instance, and asking if it's necessary, I mean, there are some arguments which are made which say that, so if you start a mine, people who are impoverished around the area will get a job. So how does that, I mean, in the absence of that, if, for instance, if they would starve?
Yes, okay. This takes us back to the principle that under capitalism there's no necessary relationship between what is produced and human well-being. The idea that you have to engage in an industry in order to create jobs is an absurdity. It's to create a profitable industry. Certainly there are enough important things to be done in the world to provide useful employment to everybody. The question is that it's not economically viable in the present system. And in particular, those occupations which involve people helping people directly, taking care of people, are the least polluting usually. The amount of capital per worker is less. These tend to be jobs that are not well paid. And so within the present political system, you find members of Congress arguing for jobs for their district, or to keep a plant open without asking, should it be there? So now we have the panic, how to keep the automobile industry alive, without asking the previous question, should there be an automobile industry? Should the automobile be the basic mode of transportation for a population?